So I am back with another installment of must-have comics, and we are specifically going to look at some more cosmic comics. As I hinted at in the previous installment of this, I have a lot of books in the collection that are cosmic related, and so I wanted to come back and show some additional books, and my hope is that you all will enjoy this installment. If you did not see the previous, I definitely want to encourage you to check that out, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do that. Go ahead and tap that button, turn on notifications, and that way you won't miss out on any of the content. We are going to look at some must-have cosmic books, and I have a few honorable mentions that I'm going to throw in as well. Without any further ado, let's get to the books. Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. As you heard in that brief intro, we are going to look at some cosmic comics, and we're going to get it started off with a book from Amazing Spider-Man, specifically Amazing Spider-Man Annual Issue number 16, which happens to be the origin and first appearance of the new Captain Marvel, specifically Monica Rambeau. And Monica Rambeau is already in the MCU, and I think she's going to be appearing in the upcoming Marvel's show. I think it's a show or movie, I can't recall, but she'll be in that, and there are a lot of rumors that potentially her significant other is also going to appear in that series, and that is this guy right here, Blue Marvel, who made his first appearance in this book right here. This is Adam Legend of the Blue Marvel, issue number 1 by Kevin Graveau, a graduate, I do believe, of my alma mater, Howard University. This, if you have not read this, treat yourself. It is a really fantastic story. I unfortunately do not have a copy of that book graded, but I do have a couple of copies of issue number 1, and I'm thankful because that book was not printed very widely, and so I'm happy to have a copy in the collection. Next up, I want to show you a book that is near and dear to my heart, and it is because if you watch the first series in this installment on Cosmic Comics, you know that Adam Warlock is important to me. This is a book that I read and reread several times over the years. This is Warlock and the Infinity Watch, issue number 1. I have no clue what this book is worth, probably not a whole lot, but this book definitely holds a special place in my collection. I think this was signed by Ron Lim. Can't remember. This was done back when I was a kid. I don't know who signed it. We'll figure that out one day. But that is a signed copy, and I have several copies that are actually in the collection. Next up, because we are talking about cosmic comics, this is the Sentinel of the Spaceways, specifically Silver Surfer. This is issue number 1 in his ongoing series. I do believe his origin is retold here. I think there's also the origin of the Watchers in here as well. But Silver Surfer issue number 1, a cool book. I actually have the entire run of Silver Surfer that I pulled out of the 100K collection, and you cannot go wrong with that. Next up is another really awesome book. I actually have a couple of copies of this in the collection, including a graded copy. This is Eternals by Jack King Kirby, specifically issue number 2, and this is the first appearance of the Celestials. Again, we're talking about cosmic stuff. The Celestials are quintessentially cosmic. So there you go, Eternals issue number 2 from Jack King Kirby. Next up, we have a Fantastic Four book. This is Fantastic Four issue number 67, the origin and first appearance of him, who later becomes known as Adam Warlock. I do believe that this character was actually created back in the day, and they really did not know what to do with the character. They created him, they threw him out there into this issue, and they hoped that another writer somewhere out there in the Marvel Universe would pick him up and run with the story, because he actually did not appear for a while after that appearance there in issue number 67 of Fantastic Four. This next book is one that it features some characters that for whatever reason I was captivated by back in the day. I think it's because of their association with the X-Men and my affinity for the X-Men. This is X-Men issue number 107, the first full appearance of the Starjammers, and that is a really cool cover right there. And for whatever reason, I was just captivated by the Starjammers back in the day. I would read any and everything that I could find that was associated with them. I'm not quite sure what the fascination was, but it was there. This next book is another Fantastic Four book that I want to show you. This one features the most powerful mutant in the Marvel Universe, and we will see whether he makes his way into the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some form or another. This is Fantastic Four Annual Issue number 6, The Birth of Franklin Richards. It also features the first appearance of Annihilus. Again, cosmic entities like no one's business right here in this annual. I picked this book up several years ago. It is a square-bound book and can be a tough book in higher grades. So definitely pleased to have that one in the collection. There is potentially nothing more cosmic and powerful than the first appearance that I'm holding in my hands right now. This is the origin and first appearance of the Phoenix. This is X-Men issue number 101. I personally had this book signed by Chris Claremont back in the day. He signed it on 7/22/20. We were in the middle of the pandemic, and I made a trip down to Florida to hang out with Chris Claremont. It was an absolute treat. I will tell you that if you have not seen that full video, it is here on the channel. I encourage you to check it out. Search for Regie Collects Chris Claremont and you will find it. This next book is a really cool book. This one I do believe has been in the collection for a very long time. And if you watch the first installment of this video, you know I love some Thanos. This right here is the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet, which of course was wielded by Thanos. This is Silver Surfer Volume 3, issue number 44. Only a 9.4 with white pages. Again, a book directly from my childhood. All right. And then the very last book that I want to show you, you may already be able to guess what this book is. If you saw the first installment and if you heard what I just said a few moments ago, you may know what this book is. This is the first appearance of Thanos. This is Iron Man issue number 55. And it also is the first appearance of Drax, a really cool book. I rescued this book from a Ziploc bag. Back in the day, I met a guy behind a 7-Eleven. He lived in an apartment behind a 7-Eleven. This book was in there. I found it in the collection. I set it to the side. It was unbagged and boarded. His girlfriend, who was doing her makeup, sitting next to me, reached over, grabbed the book, and started to flip through it. And I am very pleased to have picked this book up for a good price back in the day. 9.4 with white pages. And that is, I love that story. I love this book and I love that character. So with that said, we're going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I certainly want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button. And again, if you have not yet followed me here on YouTube, I definitely want to encourage you to do so. Turn on notifications, and that way you won't miss out on the content that I release every single week. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.